So Netflix just dropped their new movie, Run Rabbit Run, and if you're checking this one out expecting it to be a biopic for Bugs Bunny, you're gonna leave disappointed. But if you're looking for an effective horror thriller, you might also be disappointed. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today we're talking about the new psychological horror thriller on Netflix, Run Rabbit Run. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. As a fertility doctor, Sarah has a firm understanding of the cycle of life. However, when she is forced to make sense of the increasingly strange behavior of her young daughter, Sarah must challenge her own beliefs and confront a ghost from her past. So I love horror movies that play in that family trauma space. I don't know what that says about me, but I just dig it. I mean, Goodnight Mommy, Hereditary, His House, The Babadook. Give me all of that good stuff. So obviously, when I heard Netflix was putting one out about a young girl suffering with some kind of split personality between herself and a dead relative she'd never even met before, that sounds right up my alley. But unfortunately, when the credits rolled for this one, I found myself pretty underwhelmed. Now, it's not all bad, so let's start with the positives here. I do think the performances are pretty solid, even though a lot of stuff outside of the acting didn't really work for me. Sarah Snook, who I only know from Succession, proved to me that her role as Shiv Roy was not a fluke or a flash in the pan. She struts her acting chops in this film. A lot of these psychological horror movies require the main star to show a lot of emotions in a short amount of time because the plot usually deals with paranoia and they don't know what the hell is going on. And she does a pretty good job keeping you on your toes, wondering if this is all really happening or if she's just losing her damn mind. And then Lily Latore, who plays the young daughter in the movie, I thought she put out a pretty good performance. Every die-hard horror fan knows that kids in these types of movies can make or break an entire film, and I thought she played off of Sarah Snook's performance to decent effect. So this movie definitely gets some props from me there. On top of that, I gotta say that everything on a technical level is super well done and up to snuff in here. The shot selection, the color palette, the musical scoring, all of those elements do a good job creating a moody atmosphere for this little family trauma horror picture. But you know what they say, you can put lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig. And what I mean by that is it all looks and sounds nice, but you just can't hide a crummy script. As you can tell, in my opinion, the problem with this movie is not the acting, it's not the direction, it's not the camera work, everything's good to go in those departments. And even though all of those things make up a big percentage of any film, they can't save a movie if the script isn't out there pulling its own weight. And I really think the script here gets in the way of a good story, specifically when it comes to how it depicted these characters. There are a lot of dumb horror movie decisions in here. Characters strolling right into places they swore they'd never go even 5 seconds earlier, leaving kids by themselves in a house and being shocked when shit goes wrong. I mean, even my fiance will tell you, you leave me in a place by myself for any length of time, when she comes back, it's utter chaos in here. That last one might be a me problem, though. The actions of these characters just didn't make a lot of sense, at least to me, and I feel like I can't really get into that without delving into spoilers and all that shit, but there are a lot of choices in this movie where it didn't feel like characters reacted like normal people react, and that takes me out of a film more than anything in this genre. If you've hung around my channel before, you know I always say this. For me, one of the biggest insults I can give a movie is saying it was boring. Even bad movies you can get some enjoyment out of, maybe it's for the wrong reasons, but you can still have an entertaining experience. But being boring and forgettable is the #1 movie sin in my mind, and there just is not enough for me to latch onto in this movie. There are definitely some good moments and tensions sprinkled in there, but it feels like everything I saw should have been condensed into the first hour of the film. It just takes way too long to get going. At the start, the premise is pretty interesting, and I definitely wanted to find out what happened so many years ago that was making our main character spiral out of control, but I left with more questions than answers. And hey, listen, I love slow burns and leaving stuff up to the audience's interpretation, but there's a fine line between doing something like that and leaving out tons of crucial background information that would help the audience understand what's actually going on. It really felt like it was an active choice that they were deliberately withholding all this information from us that would have made the movie's message more clear and hit harder. I just felt like I was left hanging with this one. There wasn't a satisfying payoff. This one was really a mixed bag for me. Like I said, there's definitely stuff that I liked about it. The performances are solid, the cinematography is impressive, and the musical score fits well for this kind of film. But the whole time I was watching this movie, it either reminded me of better family trauma horror stories or had me struggling to really get invested in the narrative due to the overly sluggish pacing. I think if you're a huge fan of Sarah Snook or slow burns, you can get some enjoyment out of this one, but if that's not what you're into, I think you can probably skip it. Run Rabbit Run gets a Sully score of 2.5 stars. So that's my review of the new Netflix horror movie. What do you think is the best horror movie Netflix has ever released? Let me know in the comments below if you're going to give this one a watch or if you've already seen it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.